What is good, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of getting this STI track prepped. Today what we're going to be doing is doing the spark plugs and the air filter on this 2007 STI. As you can see, it's a nice rainy day here in Portland, Oregon. Nothing out of the ordinary, but a perfect day to be working on this pig right here. And this right here is everything you need to do the spark plugs and air filter on your STI. First and foremost, you're going to need spark plugs, air filter, spark plug gap tool, some extensions, feeler gauges, a 8, 10, 12, and 14 millimeter sockets. You're going to need a spark plug socket. This is a 5/8 magnetic, wobble bit extension, and a ratcheting wrench. All right, so I've thrown you up on the GoPro. Since I'm going to be using my hands, I felt like this would be a better way to show you guys around the vehicle. First thing you want to do is get your accessories out of the way. So that's your air box, and then you're going to want to get your battery out of the way. As well as if you still have your emissions devices equipped, you're going to want to get your secondary air pump removed. That gives you a lot more access. So let's go ahead and get started. And for all you guys, these card arts are kind of the best for working on cars, because you can just put all of your stuff right in the pockets here. Not have to be going back and forth between your tool cart. All right. So first things first, I like to remove the accessories. So that's going to be these. This is going to be the intake right here. Yep, and that is a 10. You don't have to use an impact for this. I just do because I'm lazy. Also, I like using these guys right here, kind of keep my work area tidy. And this just comes right out. Next, disconnect your MAF. Just give it a couple of good taps here. Bingo. And then you're gonna want to zip this one off as well. I believe this is a 8 mil. And it is. And just be sure to disconnect this coolant line, or I guess remove this coolant line from its little housing there. And then there are two 14 millimeter bolts down there. And they're not that bad to get to, honestly. But after that, you should be able to remove the air intake assembly. So just removing this one. Oh, that might be a 12. I might have lied. Yep, that was a 12. All right, and then there's one down here. That one's actually pretty tough to get to. That's why I use like a really long extension and a wobble bit. And just so that I can see where I'm going, I'm going to grab a flashlight really quick. So if you look right down here, so you just snake. This might be a little bit even too narrow for the impact here. But we can do it, we can do it. Yeah, it's nice and down there. Oh, actually, we might have perfect clearance on this. Oh, nice. All right. And then to fish that out, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a magnetic extendo. Bingo. So that's out of the way. And at this stage, we can actually just remove this whole thing right now. Unless there's something else that's holding you in place that I forgot about. I don't think so. Kind of weird. I might have to remove this in two pieces. So I might have to just do this. Oh yeah, this thing was a little stuck. No big deal for us. All right, kind of a little dirty. And then just to make sure, we're actually gonna clean this before we put it back into the car. And there is my old air filter. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah, she's tired. And a common thing that's something that's really common on these GDs is that these clips right here will break. As you can see, I've tried to JB weld mine in place before and they clearly failed. Not a big issue. I mean, as long as these metallic clips are still in place, you're fine. But yeah, just look at that. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. But that's for a later date to replace. First, we're gonna focus on the spark plugs. And as you can see, it's actually not that bad. You're right there in the spark plug well already. Gonna move these out of the way. So, first order of business is actually remove these coil packs. And then after that, you're gonna rotate them, and then you're gonna get your ratcheting wrench with the wobble bit extension, and then fish them out. I'll show you how to do that right now. And I believe the bolts that are on the coil packs are 10. I lied, they're 12. Or are they an 11? So a lot of people say you have to jack up the engine to do the spark plugs, and you don't. You really just gotta have the right tools for this job. It's not that difficult to get them.
I'm going to use a slightly deeper socket, 12 for this. As you can see, you know, it is a tight fit, but I have pretty big hands and pretty fat fingers. So if my hands can fit in here, yours can for sure fit in here. Right. Oop. Is this harder than doing a normal spark plug job on a inline 4-cylinder, say like an Evo? Yeah, it is. Is it impossible? No, it's not. I'm pretty bad at working on cars, and I'm able to do this. So if I can do it, you can do it. And just a tip on these are locking, so they're kind of seated in place, so you'll never be able to get them all the way out because they attach to the coil pack. And for this coil pack, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get them out like so, rotate 180 degrees like this. So watch that move that I just did. Pull and rotate counterclockwise 180 degrees and then pull up. The reason why you do that is because, as you can see, this top bit right here has more clearance on the bottom than this bottom bit. It's, you know, thicker on the bottom than it is on the top. And then boom, your coil pack is right out. Same thing for this one. You're just gonna give it a good tug, pull, rotate. You're gonna rotate, boom, coil packs out. You can disconnect these coil packs. I don't, because the clips on these are pretty brittle and they will snap on you. I just don't, I don't want to risk it. You know, I'm trying to make this a 5-minute job, not a 2-day job, if you guys know what I mean. All right, so this is where the magnetic socket comes in. I like doing a magnetic socket because then it grabs because it grabs the spark plug, as opposed to that rubber grommet where it can just slip out. So I'm going to show you kind of how I do this particular job. Where did my extendo go? Ah, here it is. All right, so in you go. And I kind of like to start it kind of by hand and then see kind of where I'm at. I think I'm in. And just make sure you're loosening too, which I am. Whoever did these last is an idiot. That idiot is me. Can never tell if I'm actually all the way in or not. That's what she said, right? Actually gonna go in kind of blind here. Am I in or not? I think I am. I actually might do. So I might grab slightly different extendo on this. Or I might just try to raw dog it. Okay, so I think I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. Now this thing's on there tight. Should I have used anti-seize last time? Probably. Damn. That's in there. Okay. Might have to pivot to a different plan here, where I just use a straight. Oh, this one doesn't fit. Might be forced to use this one. Because I'm not gonna lie, that thing is on there tight. Damn. She's like on there. Am I sure I'm like loosening here? Yeah, this is loosening. Damn, I really wish I had a different. Is this a 1/2 inch? Is that what this is? So I'll use a 1/2 inch. Might want to pull this one off too. Oh, there we go. No idea why that was on there so tight. It's coming out nice. Because I remember I only did it like finger tight last time I was in here. here we are. So this is my spark plug. You can see she actually still looks pretty good. I could probably keep running this. Honestly, it doesn't look like it was burned too hot. Porcelain actually looks pretty decent. Yeah, I wouldn't have any issues running this. But I was already in here, and I kind of just want to make sure that I'm running okay. So now that we have this first one out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the spark plug gap. Because I forgot to write it down last time that I did this. So I'm going to measure it here. I believe I was somewhere in the 0.1. But we're going to check all of them. So 0.2, too much. Or sorry, too little. 0.3, too little. So we're going to keep stepping up until we find one that's the right size. All right, let's see what this one is. 0.45, okay. Now at 0.5. That's still too thin. .53, 0.55. All right, 0.58. Let's see if this one's our lucky winner. All right, 0.58 looks like that's the ticket. Let's see if there's an intermediary. Yeah, so I would say 0.55 is actually what my spark plug gap is at. So let's go measure the other NGK iridiums. These are one step colder, as I mentioned. And always inspect them, you know. You just want to make sure that you're getting the right one. And then compare. These look like the same ones. They're the same part number. As you can see, same thread pitch and everything. So I'm just going to measure this. And so this is a little bit too thin. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use this. A lot of people like to use they like to tap it on like the concrete floor. Don't do that. These are iridium spark plugs, so they will break. So what I like to do is I like to just put my feeler gauge right here. As you can see, it's sliding back pretty loosely. And then what's cool about this tool is you just put it in here and then you gently compress. And so that worked. Until you have a nice, tight spark plug gap. And this one's perfect. Actually, could be a little tighter. perfect. So this one's ready. And am I going to put a little anti-seize on here? Sure, why not? But put the smallest amount of anti-seize on your threads. Like the smallest amount. Like this. Already too much. And then gonna make sure that it's seated. Oh my gosh, how did I already get anti-seize on myself? Yuck. So get that seated. Oh, didn't mean to bump you. And then just start threading it into the hole. And always do this by hand, you know, you don't want your threads to get stripped because otherwise you're looking at getting a new head. So no head. All right, now the torque spec on these I believe is like 7 foot-pounds. There's no way I'm getting a torque wrench on this. So I just do, you know, hand tight with a ratchet. So I'm not even trying very hard here. And that was still not quite tight enough. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch to this wobble bit right here. And I'm going to try again with this quarter 1/8 inch, 3/8 inch, whatever, ratchet to get her tighter. And that's it. That's tight enough. All right, on to the other one. We're on nice and snug. Switch it off. Oh, nice. And the way I like to work on these cars is one side to the other. I typically start with the airbox side first, just because it is the easiest. Perfect. And we've got another beautiful spark plug. You can tell she was running a little hot, but I do get into boost pretty often, so that's kind of normal. It's expected. And same thing. 0.05 or 0.5 millimeter fits in just nice. And so this is on cylinder 3. This is cylinder 1. And I mean, just look at that. No wear at all. Porcelain is a little hot. Sooty. You can tell I'm running rich. But Subarus do like to run a little rich. So now I'm just going to measure this. Yep, this could be tighter. So let's just crank our hog here. Or I mean, crank the spark plug. And could be a little tighter. And be gentle with this. Don't go too fast. Still could be a little tighter. And let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. That's nice and tight. And again, just the smallest amount of anti-seize on this. You don't need a lot. Literally that is more than enough. Right, let's get her fed in here. Oh, nice. Sun's coming out a little bit. It's gonna be a good day. I say as I might strip this thread on the spark plug hole. Nah. No bad omens today. All right. All right, we're in there. And so this is actually where I'm gonna pull this one out and get this one in. We're tightening. And again, just hand tight, you know, it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to torque these down to oblivion. Just snug. Yeah, just a little cord turn after that. And that's bank 1 done. So remember the order. It's pretty easy to get these back in the right place. The wires are only a certain length. So I like to kind of start with this front one first. In you go. And then just make sure it's in there. Maybe start that thread. Oh, look at this. This is such a Portland rarity. All right, so I got that one started. Oh, then this one. So same as removal, start in 180 degrees, snake it in, get it in there, get in that zone. Boom. Now you're in. I think this was a 12. I've been wrong before. Oh, but it was a long 12. Actually, I don't remember. I think it was a 12. Yeah, it was. There we are. Again, I like starting these by hand. These are aluminum threads and these are steel bolts. You don't want to strip these. And again, these are also like 7 Newton meters, or sorry, 7 foot-pounds. Just, you know, hand tight. Hand tight, guys. Don't use like an impact ratchet or whatever on this. Especially if you have this out of the car, it's so tempting to just grab one of these and just like, wah, pa, 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 pa. Don't. Just don't. Stop it. Oh. So it was this regular one. See this? Hand tight. Don't be churlish. It's word of the day for you guys. See that? Boom. Easy. All right. Now we're going to start on the other side. I'm not going to put the airbox in just yet. Like I said, I like to work my way from one side and then back to the other. So, first step, get this battery out. That's going to be a 10. Or it might be different for you guys depending on what battery terminals you got on, but I think factory is 10. Oop, that was tightening. All right. So this is out. Boom. Don't put it on the ground. You'll ground your battery. If you guys got that joke, leave a comment down below. As you can tell, it's been a long week, so I'm acting a little funny. All right, put this over here as well. Boom. Wait. All right, next up, this guy. So as you can see, it's held in with a couple of bolts here. So you're gonna see, I think they're 10s as well. We'll try right now. I'm pretty sure they're 10s. If they're not, they're 8s. Yeah, they're 10s. And there's one, oh, I think they're right here as well. And then I actually kind of want, for separate sides of the engine, I like separate bolts holders. So put this one here, that way I don't get confused. So this one, boom, right here. Boom, right here. And then we're actually gonna probably need to use this guy to get this one out. Yep, got him. And then there's a hose clamp that holds this guy in. No, please don't dog on me because I have my emissions equipment still. I live in Portland, so there is, it's not called smog, it's called DEQ. And I do still have to participate in that if I want to get my car registered. Kind of unfortunate, but you know, it's just the name of the game. So I just kind of, on this one, these long pliers from Harbor Freight are really clutch. I like to get this and just give it a little crack, because they do tend to get brittle with time. You know, they get stuck on there. Yeah, like that. You see that? Hear the crack? It means it's broken free. So now I can just easily push her out. No big deal. And I'm pretty sure this is just something that lifts up and out. You might have to remove this fuse box to give yourself some clearance. I think you do. Oh, this is what's holding me up. There is a connector that's pretty stubborn to get off. I forgot about this guy. It's pretty annoying. Move this back here. Trusty Dusty, I think, should help me. Unless I'm getting caught up on something else, which I don't think I am. I think it just is that simple. I'm gonna try and just use my unbelievable superhuman strength for this. Oh, did you see that? Did it without pliers. Kind of a world record holder. Right, and so this is just like you kind of snake it out. And then you're just gonna have to wiggle it a little bit here, a little bit there. All right. And so this bad boy is now removed. Again, put it to the side. Look, it's the turbo, guys. No, I'm kidding. And now, again, you have access to your coil packs right here and here. This side is a little more difficult to get to, I will admit. 'Cause I feel like for some reason the frame rail on this side is a little bit closer than the frame rail on that side, like by just like a millimeter. I don't know if that's because the engine sits closer to one side or the other, or if it's just like all these brake cable lines and such, like AC connector lines. But it does feel like it is a little bit tighter. So I'm just gonna go ahead, crack this loose. Oh man, wish someone would crack me loose. All right, so that's loose. And we're gonna use the same trick, everyone. Just rotate counterclockwise 180 degrees and lift. It's definitely more necessary because of this AC condenser line. Oh, this one might need a little bit. Got to use the left-handed method on this one. Buddy. That's okay. Remember, I have superhuman strength, so it's actually not a problem for me.
I feel really stupid because my GoPro died halfway through and I didn't check. So you only got like half of the install, or I guess the maintenance part of replacing my spark plugs. But really what I did on one side was just to the other. And now what I want to do is actually I want to take you guys live to validate the install. So I've already replaced the air box. Sorry you guys missed that, but it wasn't anything crazy special. As you can see, I have everything put back together. And really all I want to do is just hop in here and fingers crossed that this thing starts. But I can see that the battery is connected correctly, so at least you did that right. All right,
Looks like everything's reading correctly. Push the clutch in. Nice. Yeah. Perfect. That was a nice solid idle for disconnecting the battery and placing all 4 spark plugs. So I'm actually really pleased with that. The intake is replaced, or sorry, the air filter is replaced. MAF was cleaned with some CRC airflow cleaner. Again, I'm really sorry that my GoPro died. I should be more diligent about checking that. But everything's tightened up. Everything looks like it is in the correct place, and it idled just fine. So yeah, that was perfect.
That concludes episode 4 of getting my STI track prepped. Stay tuned for episode 5. That's coming next week, I think. If you're enjoying these videos, or if you want to see like more long form or different GoPro POVs, let me know. As always, I will be including the part numbers for everything I used in the description, as well as the tools and torque specs. But yeah, have a great day.